doing, YouTube? And welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, we are reviewing Matt's Audi TT Quattro Sport, a truly unique car that I'm sure many wouldn't really appreciate. With only 800 examples arriving into the UK, this is a very sought after little motor. So what makes the Audi TT Quattro Sport a unique car compared to the others? Well, for a start, you get the limited edition alloy wheels, you've got the V6 body kit, you've got the black roof, and you've also got Recaro pole positions. And if you look in the back, as you may have seen in the intro, there are no rear seats, just a little harness net and a strut brace in there, making it feel like a truly special driver's car. So as I'm not a purist for the Audi TTs, I am relying on Matt's knowledge on these. And what I've also been advised that makes them unique is they've got the 1.8 turbo front subframe and the V6 rear subframe, giving it that flat floor. So inside the cabin, it's also a nice, cozy, special place. I say it does feel like a special car with the Recaro pole positions. Now they also come uniquely color coded to the body of the car. So in this case, where you've got the blue, the rear of the seats are colored to match that. And like I say, you've got a nice tight cockpit. The seats hold you really well. Probably a little bit too aggressive for daily driving, I would have thought. But in terms of that weekend feel and specialness, it certainly adds to the whole experience. So another nice feature is you get this lovely Alcantara steering wheel, Alcantara gear knob and Alcantara handbrake. And again, it's these little touches that really add to the whole experience. Now Matt has also added the upgraded armrest, which is a very sought after piece for these, so you can actually still drive the car comfortably. For those that watched the video, we actually took the car to Wales and we did 300-400 miles overall. And like I say, Matt had an awesome time in this. I did in the E46 and Andy in the Porsche. Still looking around the interior now, it is a fantastic place to be, and for a car that's over 20 years old, it still has a premium feel about it. You wouldn't feel shortchanged being in here. Now, this is an optional extra. I mean, look at the things like this. The machining work that is on the armrest is lovely. All the center console, the gear sticks around, just a really special place to be, even with things like the head unit all covered up, just to keep everything looking really clean in there. So, on board the TT Quattro Sport. Initial impressions, well, as we said in the intro video, nice little cabin to be in, really cozy, it feels really low. What I will say is the Recaro pole positions, fantastic seat, I really do rate them, but the problem in the Quattro Sport is I feel very upright and I feel very high. It's almost like the front point needs to stay where it is, but the back dropped down, so I've got more under leg support and I'm more into it. But I don't think that'd be a difficult thing to change. You can't unfortunately do it on the standard side mounts from what I've seen, but if you bought aftermarket ones, hopefully that'd be something you could address. But obviously the driving position is a personal preference. Some people really like being upright. I prefer a little bit more slung back, a little bit more support under the leg, but overall a fantastic seat, especially compared to the standard one. And as we also mentioned in the intro, you've got lovely soft touch points. The Alcantara steering wheel, Matt has advised this is still on the original, which is in fantastic condition for a car of this age and mileage. You've got the Alcantara gear knob and the handbrake, which realistically you're only going to notice when you're parking. But actually being in the car on the wheel, I really like the way everything looks in here, and it's such an old car, and maybe I appreciate it because when I grew up this was like a car that you always would see on the road and thought, wow, that's high end. I had a friend who had a 1.8 turbo, not a Quattro Sport, and I remember being out in it thinking what a beautiful thing. And even now the dash, the clocks all still look really nice, just analog, purist, no fancy digital dash, iDrive, touchscreen, Apple CarPlay. You just got your engine temperature, your fuel, your rev counter and your speed, and that's all you need for a driver's car. So let's talk about the centerpiece, the engine, the bit we all love as petrol heads. So it's a 1.8 turbo 20 valve engine, good for around 220 horsepower. I'm gonna have to ask Matt what the torque was. Maybe I'll put it under here. It's got to be turbo, 300 foot-pound, I would have thought. 250, 300 foot-pound, something around that. But I'll put it in the description part or under the video anyway. But what's really cool about it, we're in second gear now. I'll put my foot down, 2.5, lag, lag. Oh, Oh, properly laggy, proper laggy, to the point where it actually makes it enjoyable to drive. If it was on torque all the time, look at that, God. Wow. So much punch. It doesn't really wake up, I don't think, till about 4,000 RPM, but when it does get on its stride, whoo. So like I say, once we wind it up, gearbox is lovely and consistent, not very rewarding to shift with. It's smooth, it's clean, it almost feels too light, like you're not really connected to the box. I guess a signature sort of mainstream production car like the Audis are. Still a lovely gearbox to shift with, but it doesn't make me want to go up and down the box playing with it. So handling, it's a very consistent car. You've obviously got Audi's Quattro four-wheel drive system in there, combined with the Michelin PS5 tyres. The car feels absolutely glued to the road. But whilst that's incredible, it doesn't provide me with a nice sensation in terms of feedback from the car. And I say, we've been opening it up on some back roads, we've been into Wales, and it goes around corners. There are no issues with that, but I'm struggling for feedback on what the car's doing underneath me. And again, this is always something that's a very personal thing. It's, a lot of people like cars to drive different ways. If it was all the same, it would be boring. But for me, I feel like there's a little bit disconnection from the actual driver's feel. So what does it cost to buy a Quattro Sport? Well, they do start in the region of around £8,000 to £10,000, all the way up to £20,000, depending on the mileage, the service history and condition, and obviously whether the car's HPI clear, etc. It is a lot of money, and it puts you in a price bracket for a lot of other cars, but what you don't get with these other cars in that price bracket is the exclusiveness. And like I say, 800 examples came to the UK, which makes it a rare car and a pretty safe investment. And the nice thing with it is a little special car to drive. It does go really well. It makes all the right noises with a few modifications like what Matt's got on this one, the Seat Leon Cooper R brakes, the KW coilovers, and anti-roll bar. It does make for a nice little package to be in. Again, I would have to change the side mounts on the seat brackets, but it is a cool little car, and seeing it on the road, it is very unique. You don't see the Mark 1 TT anymore, certainly are rarer and rarer as time's gone on, and examples like this where they're really clean are hard to come by. So the big question, would I own one? For the looks, yes, 100%. Like, they go way back for me on what I enjoy about these sort of cars, and especially growing up when my friend had one. But nowadays, it doesn't provide the driver feedback. The engine's good fun with its lagginess and building the boost, but for me, it's not one I'd want to add to the collection. I want to say a big thanks to Matt for obviously letting me take it out and review it, and it is a cool thing, and I'm sure to those that love turbo, it would certainly be one to have in the collection. And like I say, given how rare it is, brilliant. So until next time guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.